If you keep revisiting old mindsets, you didn't leave the season, you just toured it. Ouch. I'm Abiana, and I equip believers to gain clarity, align their minds with heaven, and move forward in spirit led authority because decisions decide seasons. My motto for 2026 is NGB, not going back. And the one thing that I've recognized is that when we go to the doctor, right, the doctor often asks us questions about what's in our bloodline, what patterns are present, what history we have in our bloodline, right? And all of that is to understand the propensity of a thing, right? They ask you those questions not to try to diagnose you, some doctors anyway, not to try to diagnose you, right, with certain conditions that may be prevalent in your bloodline, but to monitor such that any markers that indicate this thing is going to arise in you, that it would arise potentially because of your bloodline. Well, so it is in the way that we think, right? I recognize last year that I cannot go forward but still take the last mindset that I had. What do you mean? For a large part of my life, I have survived based on having control, right? But now the Lord has grown me to a place where that control doesn't serve the season I'm walking into, but it served me up until a set point. And to even think that God would allow me to hold on to control until I got to a place where he could literally pull it from me is wild, right? Because like God is like, all knowing, he's sovereign, like his ultimate will and authority comes to pass, right? So that was grace that he's even allowed me to have as much control as I'd had at the time. But what he was showing me was that this next season of my life actually required surrender, because in order for me to attain and achieve and accomplish his will, right, I could not control it, right? Because I don't know all things. I won't show up certain places because I don't have control over my schedule. But in a surrender state, I can be leaving the office and he says, go left today, stop here. You need this. Like reminds me of a thing I need. Now I run into the store to pick it up and I make a divine connection, minding my business, standing in line. I don't know what it is, y'all. I always say I have the spirit to tell me all your business because everywhere I go, I'm not antisocial, but I can be non-social. I'm very much like an introvert, right? But I have a lot of friends and people who are extroverted, right? So I can be out somewhere, and it's oftentimes I can be by myself or in a group, and people just start telling me their business. I don't know why. Like I believe that it's a gift I have. There's a piece about me that just makes people start telling me their business, right? So now I'm surrendered now, right? My mindset has shifted, or at the time was slowly shifting to this place of surrender where the Lord can tell me to go here, tell me to go there, do this thing, don't do this thing, do that thing, don't do that thing, right? You don't need to go to this event. It's not a bad event, but that's not actually, you're going to make connections there, but they won't be divine, right? So as he's grooming me in this way, I'm realizing that this place of surrender required a shifting of my mindset, right? And in order for me to further grow, be stretched and equipped, right, it required me to move when he said move. It required me to not do. I'll never forget a couple friends and I were going to do a 30-day fast, and it was my first time doing a fast for 30 days. Now hear me. Since giving Christ my full yes, I have committed to fasting, I would say monthly, and even at random times when he calls me, right? But the longest that I think I've fasted has been, at that point, have been like 23 days, maybe 25. But for some reason, hitting that 30 number has always been a challenge. So I knew the Lord was calling me to fast because in a 48-hour window, there was like 3 people who talked about a 30-day fast. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm really about to do this. Like, this is about to be so wild, right? So I'll never forget, the next day was going to be the 1st of May. And I tell 2 of my friends, because one of them mentions a fast, that I'm going to do this 30-day fast with them. And I said, Lord, how am I going to make it? Because I need to go to the grocery store. I need to prepare. I need to do it. And he was like, no, you don't. All you need is me. I will instruct you. I will tell you. You will have everything that you need. And I kid y'all not, every day I had everything that I needed. Some days I'd be leaving the office and he would say, yep, go ahead and pop into Publix. Go get what you, and they would have everything I need. I'm talking about pull up in the parking lot after work, and then the grocery store parking lots are full. Some days it was like it was empty, it was peaceful in there. And I was like, oh my God. And so literally day by day, I would have everything that I needed, right? And it was in that season last year that it showed me, and I have countless other examples of this, but it showed me that I can't go back. It is a decision to not go back to this old way of doing, being, thinking when the Lord has ushered you into something new. That is a decision you have to make. It's not a feeling. Like, you have to decide. So because NGB is my 2026 motto, I've been declaring that this year I will see it. It is all the things that I've been seeking the Lord about because of this mindset shift. Now I believe that he can release it to me. I've been declaring I will see what God said. I will see what I say, right? I declare that I'm not going back to prior years thinking or validating methods. I'm not going back to previous habits. I'm not even for a second looking in the direction of familiarity because I recognize it will cost me. Like, I have to decide these things up front, right? I've also declared that I'm not going back, and no part of me is going back. I don't even want thoughts to go back. I don't even want any emotions in my body to go back to something, right, that he's already brought me from. Because I believe the worst thing I can do is cast down a stronghold, which is the thoughts, right? The history, the propensity that we have, right, to dwell on a thing that builds in our mind and then feed on and return, to its demonic conversation network designed to keep me in a state of non-progress. Like, that's the worst thing I can do, is to have a now free mind, a surrendered mind, and then go back. So I want to leave you with this. I want you to dwell on this. I want you to chew on this, because decisions decide seasons, and deciding is not a feeling. It is a decision. Excuse me, not going back is not a feeling. It is a decision. So if you're stuck, it's not because God hasn't spoken. It's because something hasn't been decided yet. And I want you to take the next step. I want you to align your mind and to move with God. I'm Abiana, and I equip believers to gain clarity, align their minds with heaven, and move forward in spirit-led authority, because decisions decide seasons. See you tomorrow for day 6.